Hello YouTube, NB998 here, and welcome to a laid-back review on Evil Dead the Game, developed and published by Saber Interactive. Evil Dead the Game is a 4v1 asymmetrical horror game, similar to games like Dead by Daylight, but it's also very much its own thing. Honestly, I would go as far as to say that comparing it to Dead by Daylight is very unfair. It is a very unique experience. In the background, you'll be seeing some gameplay I recorded. I'm going up against the computer with AI-controlled survivors, so I'm not playing online, but this game is both solo and online co-op against either an AI or a player-controlled demon. So I'll start off giving you guys a TLDR of what I feel about the game for those who may not have time to watch the entire video. Long story short, this game is very good, though when it comes to the longevity of it, I have a lot of concerns. It's very fun to play, but I could see it getting very repetitive very quickly. As long as they keep adding content over time and don't give up on, developing new content, I think this game could be really good for a really long time, but if they don't make anything new for it, it's gonna fall flat very quickly. So as I said earlier, I didn't think it was fair to call it a Dead by Daylight clone or compare it to Dead by Daylight. So a better comparison would be, it's a mix of a battle royale and Resident Evil Resistance, if any of you have played that in the past. You have an open map, very much like a battle royale. As the survivor, you run around and collect items to better yourself against the demon and their forces. And you also go around and complete objectives to get to the end goal of finding and collecting the Necronomicon, which is from the show and from the movies, if you've seen those. And hopefully going into this game you have seen those movies, because it will make this experience much more enjoyable for you. So with all that said, I do want to get into my pros and cons of the game. First, we're going to start off with the pros. I feel like this game was made by fans for the fans. Kind of going back to when I was saying you guys should watch the movies and the show, it's because a lot of the quips that the characters say and a lot of the areas that you explore are very much references to the TV show as well as the 3 movies. And as someone who has seen the entire show and all 3 movies, I really appreciate the references. They're really nice and really funny. The combat in the game feels really nice, a little floaty at times, but for the most part it feels impactful, and when you can pull off executions, they are brutal and just awesome to look at. Each game is very unique in terms of how it starts and how it goes. You start off in different spots of the map every single time with different loot in the chests, and you're always ending up in a different spot every time. Even though it's the same overall map, the way it spawns you in a different spot every time kind of adds replayability. Now, every character has its own strengths and weaknesses, their own perks, as well as their own skill tree. Like, some characters are a support class, others are really good with guns, and then there are others that are really good with melee weapons. And each character's skill tree is customizable. You can take back your skill points that you earn, you can put them in different spots. You can kind of make any build that you want. To get these skill points, you have to level up your character by using the in-game currency gained by completing games, and turn that currency into skill points, essentially. It's a really nice system, and I wish more games had a similar system, honestly. Now moving on to graphics, the game looks amazing. Another crazy thing that I noticed when playing this game and, installing it, is it's only 10 gigabytes. So anyone out there who has limited space or limited bandwidth, this is not a huge investment in terms of file size. Now keep in mind this is at launch, so there's no DLC. I'm sure DLC will add more size to that. There is a single player mode to this game, for those who don't know. It's called Missions, and they're just challenging little side stories of the characters that you can play. And through doing that, you kind of learn the game a little bit more, and then on top of that, you get new outfits and new characters. Now, funny enough, that brings me into some issues I do have with the game, and one of them is about these missions. They're challenging, which is really nice, but once again, characters are locked behind it. So if you're not into a challenge and you want just all the characters right off the bat, unfortunately you won't get that in this game. You need to complete even the difficult missions to unlock every character. I'll let you guys know the 4 characters that are locked behind the missions. Those are Pablo from Ash vs. Evil Dead. There's Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead. Lord Arthur from Army of Darkness, and Amanda from Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you look at the skills each character comes with, they're really useful skills. It's just unfortunate that you need to grind for these characters, which is just unfortunate. I feel like they should have had all the characters unlocked from the beginning, and instead have you do these missions just for outfits. Now, the game also has some balancing issues. At the moment, I really feel like this game is demon-sided. I've only won a handful of the games that I've actually played. Most of the games we just get overwhelmed, and I can't tell if that's because we're just bad at the game or if it's just not well balanced. Also, playing this game with a few friends, we ran into a few bugs, especially 2, I would say, game-breaking ones. A friend of mine got stuck in a door in one of the buildings and couldn't move, and as the endgame circle closed in, he got killed in the fog, which really sucked. Especially when the end game is very difficult and you need all hands on deck. Also ran into a few instances where enemies would spawn in the ground and still hit me. Couldn't do anything about it. I would just pretty much be killed off by invisible enemies. It only happened once or twice, but still, it really sucked. There's also only 2 maps as of right now at launch. I mentioned earlier they spawn you in different spots every time, which helps with that repetitive feeling, but at the same time I can see it getting very repetitive after maybe a week of playing. So more maps would be really nice. Now, the last few things I have complaints about is to do with the survivor gameplay. Now, there are 4 survivors that you have in your team, and for a game with 4 survivors per game, why is there no option to drop items for each other? As soon as you pick up an item, it's yours and you can't share it. Like, if you get ammo of a different weapon type and your friend's running low on ammo, sucks for them. I'm not sure why they decided this. It just feels like an oversight, and it just really disappoints me that they didn't think of that. Now, the last thing that kind of bugs me with the survivor gameplay is kind of the opposite of what I just talked about. It's that shared loot can get toxic in this game. There will be times where a chest will drop a legendary item, and it's a chest that you open, so you feel like, that legendary weapon's yours. But a teammate, a random teammate that you just got matchmade together with, might just run along and pick it up and then run off with it, and it leaves you feeling like you were kind of scammed. Now, yeah, that's kind of like a community issue, but I feel like this game should have had instanced loot and not shared loot. At least when it comes to chests. I can kind of understand the overworld loot, like healing items and shield items, but when it comes to the chests, I feel like it should have been instanced loot. Now, what I'm hoping for this game in the future is DLC, whether it be free or paid for. I feel like this game will only survive if they continue to add content. I think what's there at launch is good, but I don't know how long it will last. And yeah, those were my thoughts on Evil Dead the game. I'm going to head off, but I'm going to leave the gameplay playing in the background for you guys if you want to see that. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Reload. I'm not normally a violent person. reloading as fast as I can.
Your team has secured the lost pages of the Necronomicon, exceeding my expectations and giving hope to my lost soul.
Truly amazing. Gotta reload.
Collection of the Kandarian dagger has begun. This represents a grave threat to the evil dead. Be prepared to do battle.
I should have gone into that damn soap. Hold on, gotta reload.
Wanna mess with me and my friends?
Who's next, huh? Who's ready for some more?
Your team now holds the Kandarian dagger, an ancient weapon carved from human bone.
Now things will be okay.
You now possess the Lost Pages and Kandarian dagger, and must face the Dark Ones. I wish you the best of luck.
Nothing picks you up like a shimp's. Just what I needed right now. Somehow I feel stronger. Don't push me. I'll do what I have to do.
Work with what you got. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing.
Necronomicon is complete. Defend it to seal the breach between our world and the next.
Two Tyrell. Hold on, gotta reload.
Watch your aim! Much better than standing. I actually feel a bit better. Choke on this.
Kanda Samonda Enzin. With the recitation of the passage, the physical manifestation of this dark spirit has been banished to the rift.